usually women that want to push this and men who are bitches. It's like these men that don't like aggressive. They don't like aggressive men. They don't like manly men. And so they push it as well.
Because they're aggressive and they're controlling and they want to run shit. And that's the thing where, like, if you really look at their agenda, when they say the future is feminine, that's not inclusive. And they're all about, make this more inclusive. It's like, no, let us in so we can take it over and then we'll push you down. Is the psychology of the kind of person that goes after that, someone that's after, like, power. I'm not saying the average woman is like that. My wife is a feminist and she's into, like, inclusive shit. But, like, people who are spearheading stuff.
Yes.
Like, those people are wired the same way, like,
a dominator is.
Yes. Yes.
Yeah.
And there's going to be no room for you. It's going to be like, think the way, like, a lot of that so-called progressives, extreme left is think the way we think, say what we say, or we will fucking destroy you.
American comedian and actor, well known for his stand-up, Bill Burr, has taken aim at woke culture with a no-holds-barred critique, taking on topics like body positivity and cancel culture. He's not afraid of being canceled or the backlash. In this video, I have found a few clips of him speaking the truth about how woke culture has become a mockery of itself. But instead of standing down, he's prepared to combat this new lifestyle head-on and call it out for what it is, a joke.
They rounded up all of these fucking animals and they got rid of them, right? But it kind of became like this cottage industry, and it was a way to kind of get rid of some men that maybe were in your way, It's like anything. It always, like, the initial thing, you agree with it, and then it kind of gets out of control. So, I don't know. They kind of ran out of people, and there was this kind of hilarious moment, like last year, where they started to try and cancel, like, dead people. Remember that? All of a sudden, out of nowhere, like, John Wayne was trending. I'm like, what, they got some found footage? You got a new movie coming out that maybe they shelved? And all of a sudden, it was all these stupid-ass woke white people, right? Oh, my God, did you see what John Wayne said in Playboy in 1971? This is a bunch of fucking white people, all up in arms, about a dead white guy. I can no longer tolerate this. I can no longer tolerate dead for 45 years, John Wayne, saying things in a magazine that doesn't exist anymore. I am here for black people. It's fucking idiots.
He pokes at the fact that even the dead are being targeted by cancel culture, which is one of his most striking statements. The bizarre moment when actor John Wayne, a Hollywood legend born in 1907, goes viral because people dug up an old interview from the 1970s. Bill Burr ridicules the idea of dragging a long-dead person through the mud for something they said decades ago. He jokes, highlighting how desperate cancel culture has become in its search for targets.
Yeah. John Wayne was born in 1907. That's what the fuck he's gonna sound like. Then you got all these douchebags going like, that's not an excuse. It's like, yes it is. It absolutely is. You are of your time. Look at these young kids. Remember that for like a year and a half? They'd take a water bottle. They're all standing around, and one kid would flip it, and if it landed upright, they'd lose. Oh! 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 Oh, shit! They just lose their fucking minds. Oh! I didn't understand it.
He finds it absurd that they are applying present-day moral standards to someone who lived in a different era. But his criticism doesn't stop at them going into the past to cancel people. He also emphasizes how cancel culture is unforgiving of the living. He makes reference to Louis C.K., who faced severe scrutiny following accusations of sexual misconduct and was met with disdain when he made a comeback. The comedian makes the argument that there's a thin line between making someone pay for their actions and permanently damaging their life.
He comes back, he does comedy, and everybody gets pissed off.
Well, I don't think it was everybody. It was
well,
just,
a lot of people.
Yeah, some people got pissed off, and then a lot of people thought, like, he's had enough. Let him up off the mat. I always equate it to, like, I'd watch a buddy of mine get into a fight. I wanted him to win. But after a while, it was like, all right, it's over. You got him.
He now targets woke white women, accusing them of appropriating movements that started out as social justice and racial equality movements. He mocks their complaints of oppression while living luxuriously, driving expensive SUVs, and sipping coffee from Starbucks, all while using his signature sarcasm. he makes fun of the way these women, who benefit from being white and upper middle class, somehow frame themselves as the main victims of society's injustices.
People start yelling at you and then try to destroy your career just because you have a difference of opinion. Where if you're on the same page going, hey, you know, this behavior is not correct and should be dealt with, and then you're disagreeing on type of punishment, length of punishment, or anything like that, and then it just becomes like this thing where that we live in a world now where you have to be afraid to say that stuff. It's, you know, to people who are allegedly progressive.
He continues by pointing out how hypocritical it is for these same women to criticize the privileges of white men while ignoring their own. This is an excellent illustration of how privilege may be conveniently disregarded when it is desirable. Self-righteousness and personal ambitions have warped the narrative of these groups, which previously promoted true social justice.
But I think white women started it. It's the worst. The fucking worst. It's all they do is bitch, moan, and complain. I had no idea how difficult it was to be a white woman in the United States of America. Evidently, it's really difficult. Sort of separate themselves from these white males with their white male privilege. It's like, bitch, you're sitting in the jacuzzi with me. The f*** are you talking about? Yeah, quit your fucking whining. Look, right out of the gate, all right? If you live in some honey boo-boo lifestyle on the Appalachian Trail, you know, your uncle just banged you in the dirt, all right, I can listen to you.
Bill Burr isn't afraid of controversy, particularly when it comes to fairness in sports and transgender athletes. Burr asks directly, "Am I crazy, or is that just a dude beating up a woman in the ring?" This isn't about judging how people live their lives. Rather, it's about challenging the competitive edge that comes with physical differences, especially in high-contact sports like MMA. For Burr, it's more about maintaining the integrity of competition than it is about being transphobic.
You could be a dude, right? Ranked 80th in the fucking world. You have your dick cut off, you put on a sports bra, and now you're the #1 tennis player in the world, just coming out there with your man shoulders. That doesn't seem fair. I might be wrong. Some of them are getting into that MMA. You can't have that shit. Am I nuts? That is a dickless dude beating the shit out of a woman. Jesus Christ. He might as well hit her with his discarded dick like a flashlight.
Bill Burr's criticism is now moving from sports to his world of comedy. He expresses his frustration with the sensitive comedians resenting when we began to be scared to make jokes. Humor is meant to push boundaries, question social norms, and address difficult subjects. But Bill Burr feels that the art form is being suffocated by woke culture's control over what can and cannot be laughed about. He claims that canceling comedians is equivalent to destroying comedy itself.
That's a great fucking joke. There is zero fat on that. You need every word of that joke. You take one word out, it doesn't work. It's a perfect joke. So whatever, nobody gives a shit. One person comes in, they don't like it. They ask the manager to take it down. He's just like, hey, you know, that's our sense of humor here. You know, have a beer, go fuck yourself. That's what we're doing.
The comedian then focuses on the body positivity movement, which is another popular topic in today's society. Although he encourages self-acceptance and body acceptance, he draws a line when that message starts to celebrate unhealthy ways of living. He contends that there is a distinction between applauding complacency and loving oneself. He makes fun of the idea that an actress shouldn't have to lose weight in order to play a role that requires her to look a certain way. He claims that if you're playing a hot woman and the industry is full of people who are in shape, it's not crazy to ask you to be in shape too. He denounces the idea that no effort should be expected at all, rather than pushing for unachievable beauty standards.
That a girl shouldn't be asked to lose weight to look hot for a movie is fucking crazy, because that's what you're playing. You're playing a hot woman. That's part of the job.
And there's millions of everybody's in shit beauty to try and live up to. Yeah. That's why she's on the cover of a magazine. She's that level beautiful. And you're going to try and sit there and tell me that that was learned.
He makes jokes and uses his trademark dry wit to make his points. I'm not saying you have to look like a movie star, but maybe put down the donuts and exercise occasionally. Bill Burr makes it apparent that he is here to voice his opinions and draw attention to the inconsistencies he observes, even if doing so upsets people on both sides.
I understand, all right? I don't know why, though. Why? They're not a race. They're not a religion. It's totally curable. Eat an apple and go for a walk. You know? Why are you yelling at everybody else? The fuck are you giving me shit for? All right? You put the cookies in there. I didn't. How is this my problem?
Burr's viewpoint is based on the worry that woke culture is hindering important dialogue. He believes that a culture where people are afraid to speak honestly has resulted from this fear. Bill Burr sees woke culture as something that is suppressing not only comedy, but also important debates. He feels that free speech entails having difficult, uncomfortable conversations without always fearing cancellation. In the end, he gives us an important lesson to remember. Today's cultural world is a maze of extremes and contradictions. With his open humor and wise observations, the comedian challenges us to reconsider our current course rather than bringing people together and progressing towards true justice. He claims that movements that once sought to bring about true progress and equality are now in danger of becoming reduced by personal grievances and misplaced outrage. Instead of encouraging dialogue or pushing for genuine understanding, they have devolved into shouting matches and witch hunts. He's not just making us laugh. He's also getting us to think about whether we're losing sight of the important things in life. His candid criticism is a much-needed reminder to take a step back, laugh at the ridiculousness, and concentrate on the things that actually improve society. In your opinion, has woke culture gone too far? Or does Bill Burr have a point in pushing back? Perhaps the more important question is how to continue the conversation without compromising our right to free speech. If you liked this video and would like to see more uncensored perspectives like this, don't forget to hit the subscribe button and enable notifications. Join the discussion, stay up to date, and never miss the newest information.